In the last video, we looked at how to use technology to find probabilities and cutoff scores. So what I'd like for you to do now is to work on the problem for the chemistry test, the batteries, and the birch trees. But you're going to stop and don't do the one with the gas tanks. We'll do that one together in the next video. So for these three, go ahead and pause the video, give them a try, and I will meet you over in the app in just a couple seconds. All right, let's look at the chemistry test problem. It says, suppose the scores on a chemistry test were normally distributed with a mean of 78 and a standard deviation of 10. If a student who completed the test is chosen at random, answer the following questions. So the first question is, what is the name of the distribution? And that's going to be a capital N for normal with 78 and 10 in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 78 and 10 into the calculator here, and I'll choose scale to fit. So there it puts 78 at the bottom, and then it's jumping by 10s each way. And now the first question says, estimate the probability that the student earned fewer than 75 points. We're looking at the less than. I'll click this first checkbox and I will change this X to a 75. And then I want to look at the picture and I see, yep, they have highlighted the side that's less than. So this is what I'm looking for. And that probability is 0.3821, or you could write 38.21%. The next question, estimate the probability that the student earned at least 70 points. So that's going to be the greater than side because at least 70 would mean something like 80 or 90 and so on. So I'm going to change this to a 70. And then I need the greater than side. So I'm going to flip this over by clicking the inequality sign. And so I get 0.7881 or 78.81%. Next question, find the probability that the student earned between 80 and 90 points. So I have two numbers there, which means I'm going to need both of these rows of the checkboxes. So I'll click on both of those, and then I'm going to put 80 for one of them and 90 for the other. And then we're looking for the probability the student earned between 80 and 90. So that probability between is directly below there. And so we'd want to say 0.3057 or 30.57%. The last question for this particular problem says, find the probability the student earned either less than 80 or more than 90. So we're looking at that probability that's outside of the 80 to 90 range. So that'll be the second line here. And that'll be 0.6943 or 69.43%. All right, next up, let me refresh the page. The mean life of a battery is 50 hours with a standard deviation of 6 hours. The manufacturer advertises that they will replace all batteries that last less than 38 hours. You can assume the lifespan of a battery is normally distributed. So our distribution name here will be normal, and that's with a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 6, and I'll choose scale to fit to draw that. So there's my 50, and then it jumps by 6 each time. And the question is, what percentage of batteries do you expect to replace? So earlier in the problem, it says they're going to replace all the batteries that last less than 38 hours. I'll click this first checkbox, and I'll put a 38 in for X. And that is the less than side. So we're expecting to replace 0.228, or that would be 2.28%. And then if 50,000 batteries are produced, how many would we expect to replace? So we'll take this 0.228 and we're going to multiply it by 50,000. And that tells me that they're going to expect to replace about 1,140 batteries. All right, we have one last one to look at in this set, and this is on birch trees. It says the height of river birch trees are normally distributed with a mean of 92.3 and a standard deviation of 4.1. So I'll put those numbers in and click scale to fit. And then the question for this problem is, what is the cutoff height for birch trees in the tallest 10%? So in this problem, that tallest 10% is going to be on the right-hand side. I'm going to click this box for that first checkbox, and instead of choosing a number for X, I'm going to go over to where the probability is. And I want the tallest tree. So I'm looking for that greater than side. And so I'm going to flip this inequality over. And I'll put 0.10 in for the 10%. So now I see it moved over and it's shading the higher side there, which is what I would like. So what this tells us, the cutoff value, what I put as my answer, is 97.554. So kind of in context of this problem, the way I would interpret this is 10% of these birch trees are going to be 97 inches tall or taller than that. All right, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll put the answers up on the screen for you in case you missed any of that. All right, so here are the answers in case you missed any of those. The one thing to note, they're actually backwards on mine, so the battery and the birch trees are reversed. But in case you need those answers, there they are.